What if Saturn's rings weren't just rings? For decades, some scientists have claimed that enormous non-human structures are hidden there. Maybe even gigantic alien ships lurking in the shadows just a few billion kilometers from Earth. In this new video, I invite you to discover some absolutely incredible revelations made by a former NASA engineer and to consider a rather unsettling question. What if we weren't alone and our interstellar neighbors were already here, watching us? Welcome to the UFO Section 51 channel. I'm Dazjik, and you're watching a new video on the channel dedicated to ufology and the paranormal, recorded in the TV 42 studios, which is why you see the 42 right behind me. Once again, thank you for your comments, your likes, and your shares. The success of this channel since 2014 isn't just thanks to my work, but also to your support, both English-speaking and French-speaking viewers, by subscribing to the channel, liking, leaving comments, and sharing the videos. So once again, thank you for your interest and your support. Let's dive right into today's video topic. You'll see, it's quite a fascinating topic. If you've been following all the UFO news on the UFO Section 51 channel and also on the internet, this ties back to all the recent buzz about that interstellar object that was supposedly detected at the edge of our solar system a few months ago. But today, we're going to focus our attention on the planet Saturn, and more specifically, on its rings. Indeed, for centuries, Saturn has fascinated humanity. Its majestic and mysterious rings have become a symbol of cosmic enigma. But what if, behind this beauty, there was a hidden secret? So here's an article that just recently popped up on the internet, bringing back the topic of those revelations made by Norman Bergrun, a former NASA engineer, who claimed shortly before his death that massive extraterrestrial ships were hiding in Saturn's rings. Was it just a case of simple illusions, or was it proof that a non-human civilization is already operating in our solar system? Today, we're really going to dive into this dizzying mystery together and explore Norman Bergrun's shocking revelations about Saturn's rings. So first, who is Norman Bergrun? He's not just anybody. He's an aeronautical engineer, a former NASA collaborator, and he worked on major programs, so he's definitely not your typical crackpot. And in his 1985 book, The Ringmakers of Saturn, he literally calls them the creators of Saturn's rings, and he publishes photos from the Voyager missions. According to him, these images reveal gigantic structures, sometimes several thousand kilometers long, nestled right inside Saturn's rings. You can also find him in this filmed interview. So, I'm not going to show you the whole video. I'll let you listen to part of the interview. This is a part of the interview.
And I had Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 data. And that I inspected and studied for quite a while. And that's when I wrote the first book. And I was so surprised at what I found that it took me like the 4 years to get to publish, because I wasn't sure that what I had was really right. And so I looked in many articles and books to see, oh yeah, this sort of fits what they're talking about there. Okay, you're okay, so publish it. And so the book came out in 1985.
Okay, and that's the Ringmakers.
That's the Ringmakers.
But the other one, this one...
That's 1971. I had left Lockheed. Okay.
Well, did we build it?
Pardon?
Did we build it? Did who built it? The craft?
I don't know who built it, but what I found out is these things inhabit Saturn. That's where I first discovered them, and they're proliferating. They're now at Uranus and Jupiter. Wherever you see some rings now, why, that's one of these.
You see the craft?
Yeah, I call it a ringmaker.
Yeah. Okay, you call it a ringmaker.
Yeah, and I can say it's electromagnetic because I can identify streamline patterns with respect to it. that I knew were what we call potential lines, and that says it was electrical. When I worked at Lockheed, I had documents that were indeed top secret.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. And then I went through the first generation of the Polaris underwater launch vehicle, and then I got tapped to go behind closed doors.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I was there for till I got claustrophobia.
3 doors to get to your...
Yeah, I had to sign my life away for 30 years.
Wow. Is it still in effect right now?
No.
No? So could you tell me anything?
No.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
Why? What would happen?
I'd prefer not to find out.
You might have seen some craft in those hangars. Is that right?
It was my first clue that there was something in space that was different. Okay. I was handed one day a set of data. The guy that gave it to me said, nobody else around here has ever been able to get anything out of these data, and if anybody can, you can. And so I went through it, and I found this one spot of data that really looked interesting. And I slugged through plotting it up. It was quite a difficult task to draw the picture of that. Mm-hmm. And when I got it, you could tell it was something strange. I didn't, at that time, I have seen one on the ground in Antarctica.
You have?
Not personally, but an image of one which I wished I'd have cut out.
Right.
So no, these things can come in real low.
Yeah.
They're all sizes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same deal as airplanes. You know, they're Cubs and all that kind of. You know.
Right, and so when you're talking about the craft in the rings of Saturn, you're talking about something huge, right?
Yes.
Much bigger than we could even conceive of. I understand. What is it? I don't know. Was it 70,000 square feet?
I could, in looking down on the rings, I could see parallel lines crossing the ring, all the rings at once. Mm-hmm. That's about as long as you can get them.
That's incredible.
But I could tell that those lines demarked the outside of an object.
Mm-hmm. So are you sort of saying, when you say you got claustrophobia, I don't know what that means. Do you mean that you became sort of tired of working in this above top secret area?
Yeah, no, not tired, and it was very exciting. I got to see everything that went on all over the world.
Wow.
Nothing much has changed.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Or were you threatened? Were you, what did you have friends who were leaving the employee of Lockheed at that time? I mean, was there some incident that happened that made you want to leave?
No, it wasn't that. Let's just say that you're confined to one room day after day, year after year, same walls, so forth. That's claustrophobia.
I see.
But I knew that, hey, there's something going on out there, and see if you can't find it.
Okay, but have you heard that NASA alters their footage coming from the moon, etc.?
I know some of the things they do with it, yeah.
Okay, so even their footage is not always dependable, right? Although I guess it's dependable to begin with. It's just that they start altering it later.
I have been told by a very reliable source. He asked me what camera did I get that image from on the moon? I said, Hasselblad. And he said, that's right. He says, I thought we darkened that enough that you wouldn't find it.
Oh, yes. So you were finding things that they thought they covered up.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That must have been a lot of fun.
And this guy says, well, I suppose you want me to go out and tell everybody about that. I said, no, I don't want to embarrass you. That doesn't make any difference to me. Whatever you want to do is fine with me. I'm just saying I found what you saw.
Then we're able to, sort of look at and keep in sort of pristine condition.
I'll tell you, at this juncture, I don't know what I have. I finally went to put it in a vault that the people claim, hey, nobody can get in here, including the government. But unfortunately, somehow, somebody did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And what they do, like I have some of it on a laptop, some of it just on discs and so forth, they garble it. They run it through something and they garble it.
So it's no longer...
And sometimes there's just nothing on there. And I know that there should be something, and there's nothing. So I don't know how much of the early stuff I can put together.
Do you believe UAPs pose a potential threat to our national security?
Yes. The technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years. Biologics came with some of these recoveries.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So, according to Bergrun, these devices are not just simple inert objects. They would be capable of moving, altering the structure of the rings, and even regenerating them. In other words, Saturn wouldn't just be a planet with beautiful icy rings, but rather a vast cosmic construction site monitored by entities from elsewhere. And for him, this wasn't just a hypothesis, it was a certainty. Of course, such a huge claim sparked passionate debates. Dr. Bergrun claimed that Saturn's rings were not made of ice and rock, as is commonly believed, but were actually the exhaust gases from these enormous ships he calls ringmakers. He claimed that these vehicles are proliferating and are now present on Jupiter and Uranus, creating new rings on planets that didn't have them before. He even suggested that these vehicles were equipped with powerful nuclear energy sources and advanced electromagnetic technology. They seemed capable of creating massive electric fields, lightning bolts more powerful than those observed on Earth, and disturbances throughout the entire ring system. In the interview, Dr. Bergrun recounted his professional background, mentioning his work at Lockheed on the first generation of the Polaris submarine-launched missile. This led him to work in an ultra-secret, closed-off area, where he had to sign a 30-year confidentiality agreement. He later explained that he eventually left that position because of claustrophobia, clarifying that it wasn't a fear of small spaces, but rather the mental strain of being confined to the same secret room day after day. It was during this period, in particular, that he detected a rather unusual spatial phenomenon while conducting his studies. After receiving a set of data that no one else could interpret, by plotting and cross-referencing all this data, he eventually realized that it revealed something strange. He claimed to have faced significant opposition and attempts at cover-up from official organizations like NASA. He recounted the story of a source allegedly connected to NASA, who asked him how he had found a particular image of the moon, saying, "I thought we had obscured it enough so you wouldn't find it." He claimed that unknown individuals had tampered with his files on laptops and hard drives, sometimes erasing them completely. And despite this interference, he felt he no longer needed the old data, because his knowledge of the subject allowed him to reconstruct his work at any time, except that today, he has passed away. So of course, such a huge claim sparked passionate debates. On one side, there are ufologists who see these images as proof that we are not alone, and on the other, more skeptical scientists who talk about misinterpretation or optical illusions. The problem is, Bergrun has a solid resume. He's not someone you can just dismiss out of hand. So, what should we make of all this? If what he's saying is false, then why publish such a detailed book with such precise annotations? And if he's telling the truth, why is this topic so rarely discussed in major scientific media? Is it out of fear of being ridiculed, a lack of direct evidence, or simply because humanity isn't ready yet to hear that colossal extraterrestrial ships are literally in our planetary neighborhood? So what does all this mean? Let's imagine for a moment that Bergrun is right. Active extraterrestrial craft are hiding in Saturn's rings. That would mean several things. First, we are not the only players in the solar system, which would mean, and also confirm, that humanity is not the dominant civilization, but rather a civilization being observed. Second, maybe these ships have intentions, but what are they? Are they simply here to exploit the resources of the rings, to maintain a cosmic balance, or to monitor Earth's evolution, like watching an experiment in a laboratory? Finally, thirdly, and I want to say it again, such a discovery would absolutely upend everything we know, everything our civilization is built on. Our science, our economy, our religions. Imagine if these gigantic ships are really stationed up there, maybe for millennia. How would our governments, our beliefs, our certainties survive such a truth? This is no longer just a question of astronomy, but an existential one. Who are we in this universe? And above all, what do we mean to them? And why don't they make contact with us? Norman Bergrun passed away in 2018, taking a part of this mystery with him. Was he a visionary who dared to speak the truth, or a man who misinterpreted complex data? Whatever the case, his testimony continues to haunt us. And if tomorrow a new mission finally revealed the presence of massive objects in Saturn's rings, would we be ready to accept it? With these massive objects being added to the interstellar object that was reportedly detected in recent months at the edge of our solar system and seems to be approaching Earth, is it reasonable to think that we are completely surrounded by different extraterrestrial civilizations that might be considering fighting over our planet? If that's the case, are the ships in Saturn's orbit here to protect us from a possible extraterrestrial invasion? But maybe I'm getting a little carried away. And you, what do you think? Are Saturn's rings simply a natural phenomenon, or are they the perfect camouflage for colossal ships? I'm looking forward to your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. Please like the video if you enjoyed the content, and share it with as many people as you can. Thank you for subscribing to the channel if you're new to the world of UFO Section 51. Before I let you go, and as always, of course, I invite you to stay vigilant, keep your eyes wide open and fixed on the sky. Longue vie et prospérité.
Bright light in the night, some things take